Hello everybody, it's ya boy the Cauterizer here, and we're back with another sorcery healing loadout guide with some tips and tricks there for you. I felt like I should update all my loadout guides as it's been a while since I've updated some of my older loadouts. Things have changed, of course, and one of the biggest changes I did want to mention with sorcery is they increased the AI on the Watcher. It is now a lot more responsive to your ritualistic word. Will start instantly healing when you pop that ritualistic word, so very good stuff, and I feel that change itself has made Watcher so much more viable and now deserves a slot on the sorcery loadout all the time. I believe he's pretty much core to it now, which is kind of cool because it keeps the overall thematic that sorcery is a pet power. So we'll go ahead and jump into the powers first under the destiny tree. I'm going to be taking Condemn, Soul Siphon, Rejuvenate, Invocation of Renewal, and Circle of Destiny. On to summoning. Take Summon Guardian, Soul Well, Ritualistic Word, Boon of Souls, Transcendence, Summon Watcher or Fury, Transmutation, and Shard of Life. Onto the iconics, we got Miracle Worker and Empathetic Healing. Onto your loadouts here, the main things that I use, this is pretty much the loadout I use most of the time, but it does have variations which I will get to after I explain this. So Rejuvenate, this is our priority heal. When we do it, we'll grant Golden Soul Ore, which increases our permanent critical healing chance by 10%. So great stuff. Ritualistic Word, this is going to heal you and the 3 lowest members in the group. It will also shield your Watcher and restore power over time. And like I said, as soon as you hit this, your Watcher will start immediately healing and heal the other members in the group that Ritualistic Word is not able to heal. Boon of Souls. This is a shield whenever we have Red Soul Aura active. Enemies that strike it will take damage. Enemies that strike it take damage, and just keep in mind it only shields you and 3 group members, so only half the group. So it may not always be the most effective in raids, but it's very good for saving you as a healer. If you're solo healing, get knocked down, you can use it when you're CC'd. Very good stuff, especially if you have regenerative shielding. It'll heal you personally when you use it. Circle Protection, this is a core on all sorcery loadouts. Pretty much put a big healing sigil on the ground. Anyone stands in it receives healing. Transcendence. Now they have reworked Transcendence as well. Before it was a complete channel spell. You would cast it for the whole 5 seconds and be stuck there doing it, which is not always the greatest because you're immobile and you can't really jump clip out of it if someone needs some quick burst healing. So I didn't think it was very good before, but now the way it works is you do your 1 second animation and then it does the health and power to the whole group while we can spam all of our other loadout rotation spells, everything like that. So good stuff. Transcendence is very powerful now. And then we have Summon Watcher. Of course, this is pretty key to your healing. Will instantly heal whenever you have Ritualistic Word popped, and will grant Red Soul Aura whenever enemies die. Now, some variations on the loadout here. You can throw in Soul Siphon, however, just be wary. Soul Siphon is a very weak heal. My Rejuvenate does about 4 to 4,500 whenever I heal a single target, and myself, of course. But Soul Siphon will do about maybe 1,000 to 1,000 crit, 1,200, something like that. However, it will heal everyone in the raid, so it's very nice if you need some additional raid burst healing, because even though with the AI changes with Ritualistic Words, Sorcery still does lack raid burst healing, which sometimes comes really in handy. Okay, another thing that we can throw on here instead of Boon would be Shard of Life. Now, the only reason that I don't use Shard is, one, it's not that strong of a heal. It's a decent burst heal, and the HOD is decent enough as itself, about 200, 300 ticks at my CR. But it's mainly for keeping the tank alive, and you're really only ever going to hit the tank with it. It's really too hard to have to work to untarget and face your character in a certain direction and move it just to Shard of Life your group, which, like I said, the HUD isn't really that powerful anyways. Shard of Life is primarily for healing the tank. If you got 2 healers and your job is keep the tank alive, go ahead and throw Shard of Life on there. Very good stuff. It will bad karma the enemies so they heal the tank whenever they hit them. So very good stuff there. You can run Soul Well. I actually personally, this is one of my favorite spells in the game, so sometimes I do it just because I really like it, but at the same time, Soul Well's only really effective once you have 3 of them up, which takes, about 20 seconds in the fight to get it happening, and whenever enemies die, it will also burst heal. So if you're in a fight with like a bunch of ads, for say example, you're a new player and you do an FOS 1, and you're on Sunstone Herald boss, all those little crabs, anytime one of those crabs die, it will heal the whole raid with pretty much a Rejuvenate power heal. So I just have it there. Well, of course, you have to spec for it to get to Shard of Life, and with this loadout, we can pretty much cover every avenue that we possibly need to. You can also replace Transcendence with it, something like that. If you want to keep the Boon, you can replace Transcendence. If you don't have Supercharged with Shard of Life, usually that's what I do, or I'll replace Transcendence with Soul Well. Another thing you can do, but I highly recommend not doing, is Invocation of Renewal. Now, I honestly believe Invocation of Renewal is the weakest channel heal in the game, and the only healer I would even ever recommend you using a channel heal is Celestial, and that was only because it is the strongest channel heal in the game. It hits really hard. Now, don't get yourself eluded by group members below below 35% will be healed more quickly. That doesn't mean that the heal is going to go off faster on those members for the final big burst tick heal at the end. All it means is that while you're channeling, they're going to receive an extra tick of the small numbers in between, which really isn't that much. And when group members are that low with the channel heals, you want to jump cancel out of it right away, because most often or not, 90% of the time, if you continue channeling, they're going to die anyways. So you always want to jump cancel when people get that low and just throw them a rejuve or a ritualistic word, something like that. So yeah, pretty much that's how the loadout works, guys. Just a little trick here that you can use with the soul well, or excuse me, the circle. I kind of wish I was in my league hall for this, but pretty much whatever you're targeting whenever you're looking at an ad, that's what it'll put the circle on. Okay, so for example, what you want to do with the circle is, where can I find this guy? Where is he at? Okay, so you can see this person. If I were to target him, it'd put the soul well on him, just like that. Or the circle of destruction, excuse me. So you can see that's what the circle is. Now, generally what you want to be doing with the circle, a little trick is, even though I'm locked onto him, you can turn your camera away from it, hit the untarget button, and then hit circle, and it'll put it right under you. Now, you want to be keeping the circle heal on the group pretty much at all times, because sorcery still does lack the burst healing to the raid. The tank doesn't really need the circle. You can keep him healed with your rejuve and your target focused burst healing. You want the circle to help alleviate some stress on the raid, because like I said, the only burst heal that we have is ritualistic word, and even then it's still got a moderate cooldown. So try really practicing keeping the circle on your group. It's going to be a lot more effective for you guys. So anyways, I know the loadout guide was kind of quick, but there's not really that much to explain with sorcery. It's probably the easiest healer in the game to play. It's very simple once you understand it, and it's a very flexible healer, which I like, but at the same time, it is probably the best sustain healer in the game. It's very power efficient, but it still is the way sorcery has always been. It lacks sufficient burst healing for examples like in when Trigon sucks everybody in, takes all their half their health away, you have to heal everyone to full, then he stomps and brings everyone back to 20% again, and then he drops a meteor on someone. Like, sorcery cannot keep up with that unless you're like full gear, full modded, and have a shit ton of skill points. You're gonna have struggles doing those kind of healing with sorcery. But if you were like electric, nature, any other healer, to be honest, you will not have problems with that as long as you have the power. All the other healers can burst heal way more sufficiently than sorcery can. It's just we have a lot of free healing sources, and we're very good at sustaining. We're very good at nuking single targets, because the rejuve cast is, I believe it's the fastest priority heal in the game. So very good at keeping individual targets alive, and very good at sustaining the raid, but not very good at bursting the whole raid multiple times. Just keep that in mind if you guys decide to roll a sorcery healer. It's a very fun healer, it's a very easy healer, and like I said, very power efficient, and it's a very interesting way to heal. Anyways, I hope you guys like my loadout. Comment down below what you guys think. If you have any suggestions, anything like that, I'd love to hear it. Love hearing from you guys. Anyways, I'm the Cauterizer, and I'm out. Peace.